I'm going to be talking about the Watershed Festival, and I'm joined by Artistic Director Dean Burry. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to be here.
So, tell me about the Watershed Festival.
Well, the Watershed Festival, which is also called Reimagining Music Theatre, this is the second year that we've been doing it, but a little bit of the history is back about 5 years ago at Queen's University, the music school and the drama schools combined. And that coincided with a really generous gift from Aubrey Dan, who is a theater producer from Toronto. And so the school became the Dan School of Drama and Music. It's right around the time kind of when I got involved with the school as well. So it's a lovely thing to have a school that has both the music and the drama combined. And with that gift, there was the idea of really drilling down into this idea of music theater and really trying to make Kingston a real center of music theater in a sense. So part of that involved commissioning some new work, bringing in new artists, but also the creation of this new festival, which I say it celebrates opera and musical theater and everything in between and everything beyond.
You have done some wonderful productions at Queen's. These are kids that are studying to make this their career, and tickets are like, I don't know, $20 or something. I mean, it was like a bargain. I used to, before COVID, just take in every one of them. I just loved it.
It's wonderful because obviously, one of the things that Queen's does really well is engaging the whole community. A lot of universities you go to, the music school is just the music school, and the drama school is just the drama school. But there's thousands and thousands of students at Queen's who have great music and drama backgrounds, and I think the music school and the drama school really welcomes everybody in. So you get a high level of performance for sure.
Oh, absolutely, and they're just enthusiastic, and this is what they want to do with their lives, and it's a real treat to watch them, and they are good, yeah.
Absolutely.
So what would be the highlight of this upcoming festival?
Well, I mean, and just to follow off what you were saying there as well, too, is I think the Watershed Festival obviously is a great opportunity for those students as well that are coming up through things. The highlight of the festival, well, as I mentioned, it really is a celebration of all things music theater. And I use that term music theater very specifically because, again, you could talk about opera, you can talk about musicals or Broadway type musicals, and I've worked as a composer in both fields and really found that the opera people have certain negative attitudes about musicals, and the musical theater people have certain negative attitudes about opera, but essentially they're the same thing. It's storytelling using every single art form. So that's the idea behind the festival as well, trying to bring everybody into the room. So as far as the highlights go, we have a wonderful musical that we've commissioned from Canadian composer Leslie Arden called The Lancashire Lass, which is about the suffragette movement, which I think is fairly appropriate given the discussions of women's rights going on in the world right now. And we're going to be doing a free workshop presentation of that at the Grand Theatre on Wednesday, May the 25th. Next year, we'll have the red carpet premiere of the whole piece. But we've got some wonderful opera performers coming as well, too. There's a one-woman show called Solo, which is also being done at the Grand Theatre, which is a combination of King Harold's Saga and love songs by composer Anna Sokolovic. And it's one woman performing the entire piece. I believe love songs uses 100 different languages in the course of a very short amount of time.
And is that like opera, or is that?
That is contemporary opera. So again, there's a real variety. Also, another performance we have is a piece called Ursa, which is a folk musical that's being done on the Friday and Saturday nights of the festival. And what's really exciting about this is really a piece which would appeal to families as well. It's a piece about a teenage girl wandering off into the woods trying to find her identity and meeting a bear who's having the same struggles. It's this wonderful kind of folk type musical, and the piece started off as one of the small pieces we supported for our New Work Showcase last year when the festival was online. And the creators of that work took the material that they created, got into the Toronto Fringe Festival, and created this big, wonderful musical. So it's so rewarding to be able to help a project from the early stages, and then this year to be able to see it really flower into an exciting full musical.
You use the term workshop. Tell me what that means, rather than tell me the stages of putting together a musical.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point as well, too, because when you go to Toronto and you go to a Mirvish production and you go to Broadway, you see the big polished final thing. And I think a lot of people don't realize the incredible amount of work that goes into bringing something to that point on the stage. And so really, obviously, we're a university. Not only that, like I think artists more and more are, and the public even, more and more are getting interested in the way things work and the way things are created. You know, you people talk in a cliche that life is a journey, not a destination, right?
Right.
And I know we're finally going on, my family's finally going on a road trip back to Newfoundland this summer, and the journey there is almost as much fun as actually getting there. So a workshop, over the last 3 weeks, we've been doing a workshop of this piece, The Lancashire Lass, which means we have the rough copy of the music and the score. We've got 25 wonderful Queen students and some wonderful professional artists as well that read through the script. They perform and learn the music. But the composer is here, Leslie Arden is here, and able to make changes and really hone that as well, right? So it means by the time we reach the world premiere next year, we'll have a really tight piece that has really been thoroughly rewritten and examined and tightened up. But everyone gets to be part of the process as well, which, like I say, can be incredibly rewarding.
So if they say, you know, it needs another song here, or that song really isn't working, or that's what gets worked out.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
That
And
stage.
I've, like, again, as a writer, I've had that experience many times. And you might sitting in your basement, and Leslie's had lots of time during COVID to work on this. It's the one good thing as a composer. We generally like being stuck in our studios for a long time. It's nice to be able to come out at this point, but absolutely, like when you have something in your head, when you're writing a piece, you get into a room with actual live warm bodies performing it, and suddenly that's too long, or that's not long enough, and it really is a chance to massage it. Because to put on a big show like this is a lot of effort. There's a lot of people involved. It's not cheap, and so you really want that product to be the final piece to be something that's really strong and tells the story in the best possible way.
Well, I'm a tour guide as well as doing this, and you read the crowd, and you can see where you're losing them, and you could see where this isn't interesting, and then other things, they all react to a certain thing that you say and say, oh, I'm going to leave that in.
Yeah.
So does an audience help you in that sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Reading the crowd as well too, because I mean, one of the big things that I talk about and we want to really promote with the Watershed Festival is that, yes, you can think of musicals as being kind of light entertainment, and it's great when they are. Man, I love going and a good toe-tapping, catchy song that you can do. But the arts in general, whether it's opera or musical or novels or painting, have a lot to offer to life, and have a lot to offer to us reflecting on what our world is, right? And so a piece like The Lancashire Lass, I mean, one of the things I told Leslie when we first commissioned her was, we have a lot of women in the school at Queen's. We need a lot of women roles, right? That can be a bit of a problem. So the piece that she came up with is called The Lancashire Lass, and it's about the suffragette movement in the UK.
In the UK, yeah.
Exactly. There's also an added poignancy to a piece like this. Of course, women's rights are a huge topic right now. Sadly, we're back there again talking about some of these things. And so it's really exploring how a piece like this can really enlighten or can give strength or support some of these issues in the world as well, and make it relevant. Make this piece of art entertaining, but really relevant to people as well.
Well, and we're going into an election, and maybe people need to see that this is what women went through for the right to vote, and get out there and vote, because this is what, otherwise all their effort is for nothing if you're not going to bother with this. So it's something that's always been important to me is to vote.
And music theater has a really unique way of doing that, right? I mean, obviously the news is incredibly important. Documentaries are incredibly important.
Yes.
But a music theater piece like this not only allows us to tell the story, but through the music and the drama to get into the souls of those people.
Right. Yeah.
And so you kind of, characters like Annie Kenny or Christabel Pankhurst, who were big players at the time,
Right.
They get to kind of be brought back to life on
Right,
stage, which
right.
adds a different kind of perspective to it all.
Absolutely, yeah. What's your favorite musical?
What's my favorite musical? That's a hard question.
It's
Actually,
like saying,
but I have the answer.
It's like saying, which is your favorite kid, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. If you ask what the favorite of my show is, I
Yeah.
might have a hard time. But no, I can answer this unequivocally. It's West Side Story.
Okay.
West Side Story, because When I graduated from high school, my first professional gig was playing in the pit for West Side Story at the Stephenville Festival. And it nearly killed me because it's a very, very challenging score. It's almost veering towards operatic in some of its complexity of its music. And so I learned so much from doing that production. Again, about the way, and Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim, the creators of that show, were able to write something that was very toe-tapping and very entertaining, but dug deep and really poignant. And of course, we just had the movie of it recently. It still reads, right? It still reads.
It holds up.
Yeah.
It holds up, absolutely. Now, this sounds like a wonderful production, and all three of them sound great. Can just members of the public go and see these things?
Absolutely. So if you're interested in coming seeing the show, or any of we have a symposium that's happening during the day as well too. So we have a lot of music theater presenters, artists, scholars who are going to be here talking about all aspects of music theater. I should mention as well too, if there are any educators watching, we have a great partnership with the City of Kingston. They've been really wonderful connecting the university and the city on this festival. And we have a free opera for children that educators, if they go to the Grand Theatre website, and they can book the Brothers Grimm to watch at their school, which is a Canadian children's opera, for free as well.
Wonderful.
So I would encourage people to go to www.watershedmusictheater.com, and we would love to see you all next week.
Or the Grand website.
Or the Grand website,
You can get
exactly.
tickets that way too. Thank you so much for being with us.
Real pleasure. Thank you so much.